Welcome back, guys. As many of you guys know, the state of Maharashtra is under lockdown, so unfortunately I got my car right now and I'm not able to give you guys the content you want with the new car, do a walk around and proper flyby videos and stuff to make you hear that crazy exhaust. We thought of things that we come up with to entertain you guys throughout the lockdown. So we're gonna go ahead and answer some of your questions. We had a Q&A on Instagram that we posted, and some of you guys had some submissions. We had well over 200 questions. Ruel narrowed it down to a few, so we're gonna do a part 2 to this. So for now, we only have about 25 to 30 questions that we're gonna answer. I'm sorry. So yeah, let's get started. These are frequently asked questions, or you can say questions that you guys want answered. So yeah, here we go. First question is from Gaurav. He says, should you buy a luxury vehicle secondhand if you're buying it for the first time? In this market, honestly, buying used cars, the used car market, by the way, is booming. Honestly, buying a used car, it all depends on your use. How long do you want to keep it? If you're looking to buy a car in general and you're only looking to keep it for a year, 6 months, not for long, I would suggest getting a used car. Obviously something preferably certified pre-owned. Yeah, you can look into getting it checked out at the the dealership, at the workshop, and get it approved, do a 360 checkup before you buy something. So I would buy a used car if your use is only going to be 6 months to a year before you change it. If you want to keep something long term, I would suggest getting something new if you're going to keep something for at least 3 years. So yeah. Moving on, we have a question from Ishan. He says, what's on your bucket list? This is a channel to do with cars, so I'm not going to talk about bucket lists for my life. Bucket list when it comes to cars, I'd love to own an R34 GTR Z-Tune. Honestly, I really want, after the M3, I was telling a few friends of mine, I would really love a GT3 or a GT3 RS. Probably just a GT3 in a manual, or maybe even a Cayman GT4, who knows. Yeah, I'd definitely love to own one of these cars. It's definitely on my bucket list, and the Skyline might be out of reach for this country, but maybe I can own one back home in America when I, if I ever move back or something. Let's see, maybe we could import one here, who knows. So yeah, moving on. This is by Sujay. He says, why can't we rescue roadside abandoned cars? Is it possible for you or your friends to do so? It is possible, and there are some roadside abandoned cars that have been restored completely to its to 100%, or up to a certain percent where it's drivable and decently and presentable. Like, shout out to my friend Rayo. He got this S500 which was abandoned. He restored it. Now it's sitting on some 19-inch AMG wheels. It looks beautiful. Everything's working. And shout out to Redline Auto House to bring it back to the full spec what it should be. Yeah, a lot of these cars, they're abandoned for a reason. The owners got rid of them for some reason, probably because of some major problem with either the paperwork or some mechanical problems. So it is possible, but you just got to make sure the paperwork is up to date and it's not that much of a repair or a fix, because you're going to end up spending a lot more than probably what a running car's value is, so it doesn't make sense. Another question we have from Station Z. Do you have any plans for a project car, maybe like a cheap Zen? I'd love to do a Zen two-door, like a carbon or a steel, but they're really going up in value and they're hard to find a stock. It's really hard to find a stock one. Probably not a Zen, but I'm on the lookout for a nice JDM car to do something. I was actually talking to someone right now trying to buy one of their cars, so you'll see it on the channel hopefully if I get it. Yeah, I am planning to, so stay tuned for that. This is by Chirag. Is the automatic 300ZX worth it? I'm based in Australia and looking for a lovely home for a 300ZX. Okay, if you live in Australia, you have a lot of options for cars. 300ZX is a wonderful car, don't get me wrong. An automatic one, I don't know. If you don't know how to drive manual, then I guess get the automatic. The benefit of the automatic, look for a convertible one because they look so cool, convertibles, and they only come in automatic. So, and I think they come non-turbo, the automatic ones in Australia. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but I'll just get a manual one. Don't break your head over automatic one. All right, next question is by R34 FCG SLR. Okay, your favorite car and what's your next project car? Well, for my next project car, you're gonna have to stay tuned and watch, because I don't even know what my next project car is. I don't know where life is gonna take me. So let's hold on that. But my favorite car, that I've owned, of course, the 300ZX, definitely one of the favorites. But I have many favorite cars. You know, E60 M5 being one of them. I believe every car has a purpose. It's so crazy, you know. Like I believe in life, every car has a purpose, and every person that you meet has a purpose. You know, every car and person leaves like a certain mark in your life, and you learn different things from the person or the car, and you use that knowledge to build another relationship with another person or a car. So my favorite car, I really can't answer that question, but yeah, like I said, the project car, you have to stay tuned and watch. Any future mods on the M3? Knuckle asking me if there's any future mods on the M3. Of course, M3 luckily already came with wheels, some sick BBS CHRs. Already has a crazy and exhaust. I have to get a tune for it. You know, I'm already working on something with Joe from E-Tuner Motorsports. You know, I'm waiting on his tool to come in so we can get my car tuned. And of course, we're gonna be doing, you know, some CF treatment. You know, maybe a spoiler, front lip, diffuser. It's already got the CF inside. So a lot of people were telling me to get the, you know, the rev light, the lights in the steering wheel for the shifting, the shift lights. So I'm gonna look into that. You know, it has it on the gauge, so I don't know if I want to like do both. But yeah, it's something I'm looking into. So yeah, definitely modding the M3. We're definitely painting it a different color as well, because this paint looks hot, but it definitely needs. It definitely didn't have the TLC when the previous owners had it. There's some nicks and knacks here and there, but you know, I'm gonna get it painted a sick color, and of course, you guys are gonna see it first. So. Yeah. So, how did I meet Ruel? Preetham wants to know how I met Ruel. So yeah, Ruel, I met him back in 2013. He wanted to shoot my Evo and stuff, so we met up. He got some sick shots of the Evo. Ruel, can you please, you know, post some pictures? We lost touch in between, but now, you know, we caught up a few years later, and we decided to start Horsepower Cartel. So here we are. And Ruel's like family now. He's basically, you know, as good as Shadow. You know, like. He's just part of the fam, you know. He's just here all the time. We go everywhere together, so we've seen a lot of miles and kilometers together, and a lot more to come. So definitely planning a road trip in the M3 soon. So let's see. Hitcool wants to know: does 10 to 15 year scrapping rule apply for all cars like a Nissan? Of course it applies. My Nissan, the moment I got the green tax paid. I had to pay penalty on it because the previous owner didn't pay on it. So it's up to date now. It's even got the Maharashtra tax paid. So it can be transferred to MH anytime. It's just that I was waiting for the certain number, you know, 300. It's just that when you want a special number, they're super expensive. So I was just waiting for the price to come down on the numbers. So it does apply, but it is possible you can pay the penalty and bypass that and get it sorted. So legally, nothing shady, nothing like that. You know, all these cars, like I just did all my Lexus as well. You know, I got the green tax paid on it for the next 5 years. It extends only for 5 years, and you can just extend it every 5 years. You got to do a fitness test with the regional transport office of your city. Delhi, I don't know. This applies to Maharashtra. I don't know about your states. Business advice for a teenager. Sohail wants some business advice. Business advice? All I gotta say is don't trust anyone. You know, and be a little selfish when it comes to business. I've been f***ed over a lot of times by my business partners, which I thought they were like family and friends, you know, and a lot of my friends too, you know, like I've lost a lot of friends when it came to business. So best advice, don't mix friendship and business unless you have a really good rapport with them and, you know, you have an understanding with them. I still like a few of my business partners are still my best friends, but then we know when it comes to business, it's business. Sometimes I have to swallow my pride and do what's right for the business, even if I'm not making my profit, you know, what I'm supposed to make. I always think that, you know, when one door shuts, another door opens. So if I didn't earn this time, we'll earn another time. So you just gotta have a mutual understanding, and it goes both ways. And another thing, just another advice I'd give you is just do what you like, man. You know, a lot of kids out there doing what your parents want you to do. But I'm not saying don't stay in school, but find something that you like to do and you know, try to make money out of it. Like, you know, like I like cars, so I started dealing in high-end luxury used cars. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun job. It gives me a chance to see a lot of new cars and used cars as well. So yeah, if you need a car, hit me up. Ritwiz wants to know what obscure or lesser known car would you own if money was no option? If money was no object, what obscure or lesser known car would you own if money was no object? Ritwiz. I don't know, what lesser known car, what do you mean by that? I guess like a car that's not famous or like mainstream. I would love an Alfa Romeo Disco Volante. I think it's one of the most beautiful sounding cars and the most beautiful cars ever made. So yeah, Alfa Romeo Disco Volante, and Jeremy Clarkson loves it too. So you know it's a legit car. Drone wants to know which other cars did you check out before buying the M3? A few other cars. I was looking into a F10 M5. Of course, a few M3s, obviously, and maybe a newer M3, the F80s or M4. Maybe a G-Wagon, but then I was just like, I already have the Lexus, you know, I don't need another SUV. I wanted something fast and fun that could slide around. Yeah, I mean, I looked at the M5, F10 M5. Fast cars are very fast, stupid fast, but the power is unusable on these roads. You know, they don't grip to like third gear, especially the one that I tested out was stage 2, so yeah. E92, E93 M3 was the perfect car for me because it kind of filled in that void that the E60 M5 left. So I got that, and plus it's a two-door convertible, so I'm not gonna miss the targa top from the Nissan. So yeah. Tushar wants to know which car would you buy under 20 lakhs for a project car? That's a lot of cars. I mean, if we're talking used cars, I would recommend getting like a Skoda Laura. You can even find the newer Octavias under 20 lakhs, but there's so many cars, man. I don't even know where to start. Me personally, you can even find a used Evo for under that much, maybe even a 350Z. If you're talking about mainstream cars, then the Skoda Laura is probably the best bet because it's turbocharged. They're really mod friendly, so I'll look into that, Tushar. Gunjit wants to know, how do you find your cars? Is it possible for someone with no car contacts to get similar cars? All right, look, just to answer your question real quick, it's going to be a short and brief. You got to know somebody. You got to know your contacts to get these cars. Everyone, whether, you know, all my friends that you see on car stories and stuff, and just in the scene in general, everyone has their own contacts, and you know, and we all share our contacts as well, you know, but you know, you have to know somebody because some of these cars are hiding somewhere. Like my 300ZX was in Jaipur, you know, like I had to fly over there and get it. I didn't even know who the owners were. You know, this car wasn't in the market, but luckily I got it. So yeah, I mean, like, you gotta, is this who you know, man? Like that's the best bet. George Biju, sounds Mullo. Shout out to Mullo Gang, my subscribers in Kerala. I guess George Biju is from Kerala as well. The name sounds really Mullo. So how do you afford these cars? What do you do for a living? Those are frequently asked questions I always get on my live and stuff. I'm gonna set it straight right now. I'm in the cartel. No, I'm kidding. I own a cable and internet company. It was my family business. I expanded it and started my own company as well with the cable and the internet. So I supply cable internet in my area, you know, fiber optic, you know, so you get your high-speed connection. And of course, I deal in high-end luxury used cars, new and used. So if you need a new car, hit me up. I can probably get you the best deals. And used cars, obviously, if you need a supercar or something unique, just slide in my DMs. I'll be more than happy to help you. So that's what I do for a living. And this, but I just do this. Trust me, guys. By the way, let me just clear this out. We don't make any money off of YouTube. Like it's barely enough to fill a tank of fuel in my LX. Like barely. Not even. Probably 80% of the cost to fill up the full tank. You know, so you can understand how much it is. We don't make crap off of YouTube yet. So, like I said, we're not doing this for money. Eventually, if it pops off and we become big, then yeah, we can monetize things, do some collabs and brands and stuff, you know, ads. So let's see. I mean, the audience, you guys are out there. You guys are the best fans, best fam, best supporters on YouTube that I know of in India. So, yeah. All right. Trollanish wants to know, what's my favorite memory with the 300ZX? My favorite memory with the 300ZX was me and Clyde were driving, and I was telling Clyde, I was just like, bro, this car, I mean, this is when I first got a stage 2, and when it was running perfect. I told Clyde, I met up with Clyde, and I was telling him, I was just like, bro, this car is insane. It's quick. It's so quick. Like, you have to test it out. Come for a ride with me. We went for a ride, and we ended up running a few AMGs, and the 300ZX, you know, did pretty good. It kept up and kind of was in front of it. And then I went ahead and ran an RS5, ran another friend's RS5, gapped it. So my favorite memory of the ZX was just shocking people in my 20-plus-year-old JDM car by gapping them. Now it's gone to my close friend, so he's probably gonna fix it up. And, you know, nothing's wrong with it. He just has to put in the O2 sensor so it's running right, you know, so it's not running rich anymore. Yeah, he's gonna have fun in it too, so let's see. But my favorite memory was gapping these cars. And of course, going sideways everywhere. Why is your M3 registered as a 5 Series in the RTO? Arafat wants to know. And that's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked. It's because in Gujarat, everything is online, and they don't have back in 2011 when this car was registered, they didn't have an M3 in the system. So the only, as you can see, it's registered as a 525i petrol. So that's the biggest engine output they had to put in for BMW. So that's why they selected that. On my RC car, it says 3,999 cc's, so it's still got a V8 technically, but that's what they had to do. It's still labeled as saloon, but to get it registered, that's what they had to do. And when I'm getting the car transferred on my name, I'll have to, it will be rectified now, because obviously the systems are newer and you can manually put in what car it is. And there's more than one M3 registered in Gujarat, so it's definitely in the system. So back then, there was not in the system, I guess, or very few in their RTO, so, and that's why. And then it's not just with, you know, my M3, even the 300ZX is registered as a Maruti 800, because back then, they used to go, like if you watch my video on the car, my car story on that car, a lot of people ask me why is it registered as Maruti 800, is because, you know, back then they used to go by the wheelbase and the weight of the car, and I guess the Maruti 800 was the closest thing to it back then, so that's why they registered as that. So nothing shady here, it's a proper registered car, I assure you that, don't worry. But when damn, people are so nosy, man. You can check it out in a few months when it's transferred on my name, man, and then you can ask me that question again. HK3600 wants to know, have you shifted to India permanently from USA? Of course, yeah, I've been here for the last 8 years, you know, since 2013 I've been living here. I'm trying to find something to do back there, so I can be 6 months over there, 6 months over here. It's going to be great for the channel because the content is going to be crazy in America. I want to do 6 months over there, 6 months over here. You know, when it's shitty and monsoon over here, go over there, enjoy the summertime. When it's cold over there, come over here. So I'm trying to work something out where I can do that. So I haven't been able to do that because obviously Shadow, I can't keep traveling with him. So I'll figure something out. Right, Shadow? Be fine. So yeah, right now, but I'm permanently staying in India. I do have a US passport. I'm an American citizen. I have an OCI, so that means I'm an overseas citizen of India, but I do stay in India. And yeah, give us a short backstory on the channel started. Omkar Kadu wants to know. Give us a short backstory. So like I said, I mean, me and Ruel met up. So basically, for those, you know, OG guys who follow me on my Instagram, you guys know I was pretty entertaining. I used to just upload everything that drives and stuff. And everyone's like, dude, if you're videoing it on your stories, you should really start YouTubing. And honestly, like, people have been pushing me since 2016 to start YouTubing. And I was like 2 years late, but better late than never, right? Yeah, so I mean, that's why I started YouTubing. And then met up with Ruel. And then Ruel thought it was a great idea, you know. And there you go. We started Horsepower Cartel, and now here we are in front of this camera. So yeah. If you had a chance, would you buy supercars like Ferrari, Lamborghinis in the future? Veshak wants to know. Of course, I would love to, but the way our roads are, our government, and the fuel prices, I think it's pointless to buy these cars. Like I said, even the GT3 I told you earlier, I would love to buy one because Porsches are super reliable and they're easy to drive, and it would be great for the city of Mumbai to own one. But don't be surprised if I buy one back home in America, so where I could use the car to its full potential. I could take it to the track. You know, the track is probably a half an hour away from my house, you know. The drag strip, the circuit track is like an hour and a half away max. So like, you know, it makes more sense. And a lot of windy roads up there too, so you don't even need a track, you know, as long as you're safe and you're driving the speed limit. Yeah, I'd love to own a car, one of these cars, but not here. I don't see myself because I have too much mechanical sympathy to own these cars here. Because I know the beating these cars take, man, on these roads and the climate. So it's better off just buying it in a different country where it's going to be cheaper and you can actually use the car to its full potential. Off Sneaky wants to know, been thinking of buying a car. Should I buy a 718 or M4? It all depends. 718 obviously is going to be a little more nimble than the M4. M4 is way more powerful. You know, the 718 probably has if it's the base model, it probably has a 2-liter 4-cylinder, which isn't a bad engine once it stage 2. M4, obviously, the tuning possibilities are limitless. So it all depends. What do you want from it? You know, you want to flex, I would get the Porsche. You want a nice fast car, I would get the M4. Yeah, if you're looking for a used one, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to help you find one. What was your first car, America and India? Suraj Yoti wants to know. My first car in India, believe it or not. So I used to come to India for my summer vacations. And my first car that my dad, actually it was a car for my mom, but then I used to take it and use it and stuff. It was actually Suzuki Swift. It was one of the first orange Suzuki Swifts when the Swift first came out. This is like back in 2005. And I remember like I completely riced it out, man. Like I'll try to find a picture for you guys. It was so riced out. It was orange with blue lights everywhere. Like wherever I could stick a neon part, I'd put it, you know, neon light, I'd put it. And first car in India was my Suzuki Swift. And then when I was in America in high school, I took over my sister's car, her Honda Civic EX. It was automatic, but you know, it was top of the line, had navigation, sunroof, and everything, so it was cool. Shortly, I traded it in for a Honda Civic SI. Then later on, I just got a bunch of other cars. But yeah, first car in America was the Honda Civic EX 8 Gen, 2006. Pranav wants to know, when is new merch coming out? New merch is coming out soon. We are working on the designs and the materials. We want to get you the best material for the best price, you know. Working on it with a few distributors, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be happening soon, so yeah. Gavin wants to know, is it possible to get a Supra or GTR in India? Is it worth the money? It is possible. There's many Supras here. I would say about 15 to 20 Supras in India, and GTRs, obviously there's a lot of GTRs as well. Is it worth the money? It all depends on what's your use for it, you know? Of course these cars are worth the money. Any car is worth the money if that's what you really want. Yeah, there's a lot of Supras and GTRs. If you have the money, go for it, man. Mr. Atit wants to know, how many cars do you currently have? Right now, downstairs, we have the LX470. We have the M3, obviously. I have a Ford EcoSport that no one really knows about. It's like the Trapmobile. We got the S300 Black Bison. And the LS400 is still here. Just waiting on some paperwork from the RTOs so I can, you know, the NOC, so the new owner can, you know, so I can send it to the new owner and he can get it registered down where he stays. So yeah, these are the cars right now that I know of. Yeah, I think that's it. Are you still getting the Mandator? Kostap wants to know, are you still getting the Mandator? I really considered it. I even booked it twice, but both the times I booked it, they didn't have the model I wanted, and it was just taking a long time, so I canceled it both the times. I don't know. As long as I have the Lexus, I doubt I'll be getting the Tar, because it would be pointless for me to have, you know, an off-roading SUV and like a regular SUV as well. And I don't think the Lexus is going anywhere for a while unless someone comes to me a great offer on it. I love that car too much to drive anything else, you know? So yeah, not for a while, bro. I got this question a lot. Eric and Vedant have the same question. Actual reason for selling the 300ZX, when is the replacement coming? I want to say the M3 is kind of the replacement for it, but if you're looking JDM wise, like I said, I'm still looking for cars to buy. Why did I sell it? Okay, I got an offer I couldn't refuse. I really couldn't say no to this offer. It was too good. I'll be stupid to say no. But honestly, the car is worth that much as well. So it's not like he overpaid me or something. And it went to a very close friend. He's like a bro. He's like fam. So you guys probably will soon find out who it is. You know, he doesn't want to be known right now that he has it. But yeah, these are the two reasons why I sold it. You know, and honestly, it's not even about the money. I just wanted to be a little selfish and get into something newer, which I could practically use every day. You know, during this lockdown, I could go buy groceries in my M3, but you know, pulling up in the 300, you know, they're gonna see like this Nissan sports car. They're just gonna be like, you know, you're definitely out for a joyride. So the BMW, you know, they take it a little more seriously. So yeah, and honestly, if it didn't go to who it went to, I would probably not sell it at all. But you know, I know he's going to take good care of it. I had a very close connection with that car, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went in that car, and a lot of money. So, you know, I'm just glad it went to who it went to, and I got the price I wanted. So the replacement for it, I would say it is the M3, but JDM-wise, I'm looking for a car. You guys know that. Nothing is going to replace the 300ZX. It was a great car, and it's always going to have a special place for me in my heart. And luckily, since it's with a close friend, it's accessible to the cartel anytime. So don't worry about that, guys. And you will be seeing it on the channel, you know, hopefully soon. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Any other questions? Stay tuned for part 2. I don't know how soon I'm going to do a part 2. We'll see how the response is on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. You know, I just thought I'll answer some of your guys' questions. Please go ahead and subscribe and like. And if you have any suggestions on the M3 modification-wise, please let me know. You know, comment below and let us know. And by the way, guys, please send me submissions on your cars, your own personal cars. So I'm going to like talk about it and review them. So we've got about 7 to 8 cars. I want a little more before I make a video, you know. And if you have any questions, just comment below. I'll try to answer them as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and stay tuned to see what car I get. Yeah, there's a JDM car coming. I don't know when it's coming and what it is, but stay tuned to another episode of Horsepower Cartel. That steering response, man, so good.